Okay, hello folks. My name is Mark. This is Why I Hate the World, What's Happening. We are live with lots of stuff to talk about today. Before we get into it, this is what we're working on. This is the Green Man of Mars from Edgar Rice Burroughs' Barsoom series, John Carter of Mars and stuff. So that's what we're working on today. And just going to kind of clean up the background a little and define it a little more. And that's what we'll be messing around with. Yeah, it's coming along okay, I guess. So, lots of stuff I want to talk about in the world. First subject, his name is Kenneth Darlington. That's his name, excuse me. Daniel Larson is somebody else that I confused him with. He was another shooter. This person, Kenneth Darlington, is the Panama shooter. Now, what exactly happened? In Panama, there's nationwide protests going on right now. We don't really hear about this kind of thing here in the States because, we're very, as most countries are, but we're very focused on our own politics. So you don't really get much of the story about what happens with, especially when it comes to other countries like Panama, south of the border, that don't really have much in the way of American interests involved anymore. You don't really hear that much about them. Especially also given the fact that the Middle East is kind of on fire right now. We still have the war in Ukraine and stuff like that. When it comes to international news, those things seem to be dominating. So to hear stories about things happening in Panama, not very much. You're not going to get that in the news here. But what is happening there is that there's nationwide protests over a mining company. Apparently this mining company is called First Quantum, and it's an American, Canadian, and Chinese company, which is also has a couple of groups that are very famous here in the States. One called BlackRock and another one called Vanguard. These are investment companies, basically. Apparently they have a lot of interest in this mining company as well. And there's lots of political corruption connected to the story, blah, blah, blah. And that has resulted in nationwide protests in Panama, where they're doing things like blocking roads, trying to stop this mining company from going forward. And it's resulted in school closures, which has been another thing that's happened for the last couple of weeks. And this guy, Kenneth Darlington, apparently doesn't like these protesters and went up to one of them while they were blocking the road, protesting as protesters do, and shot a couple of them to death. And the right wing in this country has sort of turned this guy into a hero. I just heard, this just happened a couple of days ago. So it's still very much fresh, and it's still kind of a minor story here, but you're starting to see the memes pick up, especially on Twitter, right? You're starting to see the memes of all the right-wing Nazi assholes, conservative MAGA types, calling this guy a hero, saying that he's a Giga Chad, shit like that. And it's just disgusting, because this is a person who went out and shot 2 people to death. And because the fact that the 2 people he shot have been framed as environmental protesters, the right wing in this country is eating it up. He's the new fucking Kyle Rittenhouse, this guy, Kenneth Darlington, right? In real life, they were not eco-protesters, right? They're being framed as eco-terrorists here. They're not eco-terrorists. They're not even environmental protesters. They're protesting against government corruption is what they're protesting against. But because the news in this country said that they were environmental protesters, suddenly that means it's A-okay to make fun of them and to congratulate the person who murdered them. If you're a MAGA person, if you're a right-winger in this country, it is. So let's read a little bit about who this guy is. I got my first thing here. Let's open our link. It's a Newsweek article. Who is Kenneth Darlington? Video shows gunmen shoot dead Panama protesters. An American man has reportedly been arrested in Panama after allegedly shooting dead 2 people who were participating in protests against a controversial government mining contract. I like how even when they have video of the guy straight up murdering two people, they have to say allegedly. It's like, dude, allegedly. I mean, what the fuck do you need? You have this shit on video. But anyway, police in Panama arrested 77-year-old Kenneth Darlington in connection with the incident on Tuesday. Agents, France, press, and local news media reported the national police apprehended an elderly adult allegedly linked to an incident where two people lost their lives in the Chamay district, west of Panama City. The police, yeah, like very nice language here, you know, lost their lives. You mean he shot them and they died? Yeah. The post included a photo showing the suspect wearing glasses and a gray shirt and handcuffed to a pipe. They're not going to show the picture of it. Anyway, this guy Darlington is a lawyer and professor who holds dual citizenship in the U.S. and Panama, according to Newsroom Panama. The two people that he shot to death are named here. Ivan Rodriguez, 62, and Abidel Diaz. Diaz died at the scene. Rodriguez was pronounced dead at the hospital. A little bit more. This is what the guy looks like, Kenneth Darlington. He's the guy that shot two people to death because he was pissed off that, you know, he had to wait a few minutes while they were protesting because they were blocking the road. So why am I even talking about this? It's because basically this guy's being treated as a hero. All the right-wingers are going nuts over this, right? But a little bit more about this person. There isn't a lot in the news about him specifically. I have been able to see a couple of things here. This is somebody from Twitter named Anthony. Complete context of Panama's situation and Kenneth Darlington's incident. Now, this is just a guy on Twitter, so we don't really know how accurate this is, but from what I'm able to pick up, it actually kind of seems like this is correct. So let's read what Anthony on Twitter has to say. First off, let's clarify a few things. The American who killed the two protesters is actually Panamanian. His parents were American. I've read that he has dual citizenship, but who knows. The protesters that were killed were not eco-activists. They were school teachers. The protest was not against carbon emissions, global warming, climate change, or any of that. It was against the corrupt government we currently have. I don't know why it would make it okay if it was against carbon emissions. I mean, that is one of, if not the biggest threat to mankind in our time right now is carbon emissions. And I stand by that shit. You know, you make fun of me all you want. In 30 years when fucking everybody's eating cockroaches, right, we'll see who gets the last laugh there. Of course, I won't be laughing either. I'll be crying. International media changed the story completely to make it seem like they were eco-activists when in reality we're not. This probably being financed by our government or by the mining company First Quantum Minerals, also owned by BlackRock, go figure. I mean, why is it okay why framing them as activists? I don't get why that's fine. Like, when did eco-activists become fucking villains? Like, what, they block the street sometimes when they protest things? Because they do stuff like they throw fucking soup on a painting that has, like, glass in front of it anyway and is not going to get damaged. Like, I mean, granted, yeah, the protests that the eco movement is usually engaged in are pretty much useless. And they're not very good at their messaging. I mean, but that's different. It's like the cause they're protesting for is just and needed. It's basically the preservation of fucking life on Earth. Like, I don't see why just framing them as protesting global climate change. I don't know why that makes them into like villains where it's okay. I guess it's just because of the right wingers in the country. The MAGA people just fucking hate those people. You know, they hate anyone that wants a clean environment, so then it becomes okay to demonize them, I guess. I don't know. Reading a little more. Now some background info about the situation. The last 2 weeks, constant protests against the government and their corruption have been going on in all parts of Panama. This is because for several years, a mining company from Canada has been operating in Panama with total freedom over a specific area of the country. Most of the population were unaware of this operation when they found out that they were extracting several minerals and taking them to Canada without even paying or giving something in return to Panama. Several organizations started pushing for the ceasing of their operations. However, 2 weeks ago, the government decided to sign a new unconstitutional contract. Okay, well, obviously this English isn't this guy's first language, but I'm assuming that's supposed to say unconstitutional contract. And law with them in record time, with obvious indications of bribes and money being given under the table to government. This is a big problem all over South America, Africa, and Asia. Unscrupulous companies going in, basically bribing officials, giving them kickbacks, stuff like that, and then extracting resources at dirt cheap prices, where the people who live in the country, who actually those resources belong to them, and they don't get shit. If it's private land, that's one thing, right? Like, let's say you have a property and they find oil on your property. Then whatever oil company has to make a deal with you to extract that oil, unless they're going to do something shady like side drilling or some shit. And so you get a piece of that, you get a piece of that revenue because it belongs to you. It's yours. You have the ability to say, no, I don't want anybody drilling on my land, and then they can't do it. Same thing here. But if it's in government land, if the government owns the land, then the resources under that land belong to the people, right? So let's use using our oil example. If, like, let's say in the Alaskan wilderness, which is all like federal land or whatever, they find oil, then what would happen if, like, the governor of Alaska just said, okay, Exxon, come on in, extract all of this oil, and you don't have to give us anything, just take it? That's no bueno. That's no good, right? At the very least, Exxon should have to pay Alaska for whatever deal they have. And in fact, because I use Alaska because that's an example where everyone in Alaska gets an oil check. I don't know how often. I think is it every month or every year or something like that. But everybody in Alaska, if you're an Alaskan citizen, you get oil revenue checks because the oil companies are drilling oil, and that oil is on government land, and that oil belongs to you as one of the residents of Alaska. Same kind of thing here. It's like, well, they should have to pay the people, the government at least, for whatever minerals they're extracting. And so they just did this shady ass deal where they just found the guy in charge and gave him a few $1,000,000. They turned around and now they're going to extract hundreds of millions of dollars worth of, I don't know, whatever the fuck they're extracting, coal, diamonds, uranium, whatever. And it's bullshit. And that kind of thing happens all over the world, really, not just Panama. Happens in this country too. I mean, but it's generally illegal. So people are pissed off at that, and they should be, especially when it's a country like Panama, which doesn't really have a lot in the way of industry anyway. They need every cent they can get. They need all the money they can get, right? So, kind of fucked up. So that changes it around, doesn't it? Now, if you're like a fucking insane right-wing conservative MAGA asshole, you might not sympathize so much with the company if you found out what was really going on. So what do? They change it to an eco-terrorist kind of thing. Oh, they're just, they're protesting global warming. Oh, those damn hippies. Global warming is a hoax. That's why they change it to, to protect business interests. That's why it was reported that way. It's bullshit. Moving on. Because of this, for the last 2 weeks, thousands of Panamanians have taken over the streets in protest against this contract and the very obvious corruption that this government has showed over the last 4 years, asking for government officials to resign and for the contract to be canceled. But instead, the president and vice president have gone into hiding and have sent police to heavily repress citizens. The man who killed the 2 protesters was found to be an employee of that Canadian company that the whole country wants to kick out of the country, so you can draw your own conclusions from there. Taking it into account that he is 77 years old, and in Panama, if you're over 70, you can be released of serious crimes if any mental illness is proven. So you can see what his defense is going to be. I was over-medicated today or something like that, and I didn't know what I was doing. He is a lawyer. He obviously knows this, and his defense already attributed his actions to senile dementia. Also, he was found to be part of an extremist racist group believed to be similar beliefs as the KKK called Zoniacs. If you read all this, thank you. It means a lot to me as a Panamanian that you actually took the time and care about our situation. International media just put the first attractive title they can come up with within 5 minutes and called it a day without knowing what is really happening here. Yeah, it makes sense to me. It makes sense to me why the media would reframe it like this. First off, they probably don't really give a shit to investigate. Secondly, they probably framed it this way in order to protect the company there, to make it less sympathetic for people, you know what I mean, so that they wouldn't sympathize with the actual protesters. That's what it is. People in this country, the right wing in this country, the MAGA assholes, They really, really hate climate protesters. You know, they think it's all a hoax. It's all a hoax made by China. Just listen to what Donald Trump says. Listen to what every asshole on Fox News says. Climate change is all a hoax. I mean, even in this country, it's like, you know, that was a thing for a little while. They made it legal in certain states, or they tried to make it legal to like run over protesters. They did because of BLM and because of climate change protesters. You can just run them over now, and all you have to do is claim that I thought my life was in danger, and you could just legally kill people in this country. That's how bad it is here in the United States. That's how polarized we are. What exactly is the Zodiacs? I looked it up because I did not have any idea what the Zodiacs are. And there is a group called the Zonians. Let's go ahead, and here's another article I found, which is translated from Spanish. Darlington would have belonged to a group of extreme Zonians. The group which Ken belonged to was called the Zodiacs. The term was similar to the Ku Klux Klan of the Zonians. So what does this mean exactly? Well, let's read a little bit here. Okay. You know, we're not going to read the whole thing. We're just going to kind of skip through it. So according to this, in 1964, he went to Balboa High School. And in the yearbook, this was there, he belonged to a group of students that refused to fly our national flag on Zonian soil, which was national territory administered by the North American government. He belonged to that group of extremist Zonian students who attacked our students, Young revealed through the network social. Zonian soil, what is that? Well, it was called the Panama Canal Zone, which was a zone around the Panama Canal. So from 1903 until 1999, that zone was administered by the United States. The United States basically ran the Panama Canal, extracted tolls and shit like that. So there is this zone around the Panama Canal, which was kind of its own little political entity. It was run by the United States, but owned by Panama, but the people there were dual citizens most of the time. So a lot of Americans lived in that area. John McCain, for example, was born in this zone, right? So they became known as the Zonians, and they're kind of like a sort of like dual citizenship kind of deal. And they've kind of created their own sort of ethnic identity, you know, nationalist identity, not ethnic identity, excuse me. So that was the thing, and apparently this guy belonged to a very sort of racist kind of offshoot of that called the Zodiacs, I guess, which was really, apparently according to this and a few other sources I found, was extremely racist. Not a lot of information on that. So yeah, the guy, older dude, sort of right-wing asshole kind of guy, worked for the company, was pissed off that there were protesters and stuff, decided to get out of his car and just blow a couple of people away, and now is going to claim that he was just, you know, mentally ill. I was mentally ill. Forgot to take my medicine that day, and, you know, whatnot, and kind of like the Twinkie defense, you know? You guys remember that? The Harvey Milk story? Some guy kills Harvey Milk because Harvey Milk was gay, and then in court said that he ate a Twinkie that morning, and that's why his, like, you know, blood sugar was all messed up, and got off for it. Got away with it scot-free. Well, let's see. Hopefully this guy, Kenneth Darlington, doesn't get away with it scot-free. That'd be kind of fucked up. Of course, the people in our country here in the United States have turned this dude into a fucking folk hero. So let's take a look at some of the memes here. This is from Reddit. Insane People Facebook, one of my favorite subreddits here. Shoots climate activists, the hero we need. Kenneth Darlington, 77, was tired of the bullshit. This is by somebody named Paul the Hypergamey Strategist. Yeah, okay. I see Paul gets laid very often. Next we have the Carbon Reducer. Don't you just love AI art? You know, you could tell it's AI art because there's in the wrong number of fingers here. And the gun is going in the wrong direction if you look at it. It should be facing us, like it should be turned. If you look at it, the more you look at AI art, the shittier it looks. And that's why I'm not afraid of AI art right now. But yeah, the carbon reducer, there you go. Because remember, folks, they think that these people were protesting global warming. They think that these people were out there trying to save mankind. That's what you're doing when you protest global warming and companies that engage in spewing carbon into the atmosphere? You're trying to save mankind. And the right wing in this country, fuck mankind. They don't care about mankind. They want everybody to die. They want life to be incredibly shitty. They want us to be all eating bed bugs and cockroaches in 20 years. After all the fish die. After all the fucking chickens die because there's not enough water. Right? That's what's going to happen. And these assholes don't give a fuck because, MAGA. Next. Here we go. A man, a plan, a canal, Panama. Let's make this one bigger. Just so you can read that because that one's kind of small. A man, a plan, a canal, Panama. Protesters keep pushing people and eventually someone is going to snap. He shouldn't have shot anyone. It's curious. He drew people react nonchalantly as if they lived in a fantasy world. His name is Kenneth Darlington. What the fuck is this? It's like, remember that movie Falling Down? That's what they're trying to do here. This is the actual... See, there's a bullet casing that has been ejected from this guy's gun. This is him literally murdering somebody right now. And they're fucking making fun of it. They're making memes and shit. Okay? It's absolutely ridiculous. Next one. Fuck around and find out. Okay. This one here is from a guy named Dr. Richard Harambe, who apparently is a giant piece of shit on Twitter. Dr. Richard Harambe, I've been selling my soul and driving all day. Now these climate protesters are in my way. Lord, it's a damn shame. It's just one big fucking... 2 people are dead. One big fucking joke, huh? I don't know who this guy is. You all know Harambe, the gorilla or whatnot. So apparently Dr. Richard Harambe, I don't know. Stay classy there, buddy. Anyway, moving on. Here's another one that I found interesting. This is from somebody named Ashen. In a world where ancient prophecies keep getting fulfilled and climate change protesters blocking all roads to salvation. What? One man wages war against the anarchy, starring Kenneth Darlington, an American lawyer from Panama, and the Museum of Tolerance. Coming soon. What the fuck? Like, first off, ancient prophecies getting fulfilled? Like, since when? What ancient fucking prophecy has been fulfilled? None. That's what... Okay? 0 ancient fucking prophecies have been fulfilled. Alright? That's the first thing. That's religious bullshit. Secondly... Climate protesters blocking all roads to salvation. What the fuck are you talking about? How does that make any sense? Like, all road... I mean, like, literally the road to... Like, are you saying that this highway they were blocking is the road to salvation? Is that what you're fucking talking about? Like, it's the dumbest... I mean, is that... I don't understand this. I literally don't understand it. Are they trying to say that the... climate catastrophes that we're having all the time, the repeated multiple storms and hurricanes and tornadoes and wildfires and all that shit, are they trying to say that those are like actually ancient prophecies being fulfilled, and the climate people blocking the roads is like are they like blocking you from running away from those catastrophes? Is that what you're trying to say? That's the only way that shit makes sense. And if that's what they mean, that is the dumbest fucking shit ever. The stupidest fucking shit. More ridiculous fucking AI art here. What even is this? What, does this guy have a neon light on his fucking roof of his car? Like, people drive around with neon roofs and shit? The guy doesn't even look like fucking the dude. like, you can see it's AI art. See how his belly goes way the fuck out here? Like, AI art is like, it's like it looks like something that should be good, and then you actually look at AI art and it looks like shit. And it doesn't make any sense. And it's like, the parts that aren't like fucking just copy and pasted from some other place always look wonky. I don't know. I mean, Jesus fucking Christ. Unbelievable. Here's one, called I Hate Clowns. Scats cartoon. Sorry, I couldn't resist. Bang! I hate clowns. Stay classy, folks. 2 people dead. Right. 2 people are dead. Murdered in the ground. This asshole shot 2 people and killed them. And this is how they're reacting in the United States. I mean, if I were to go out to a right-wing protest, like let's say there were a bunch of MAGA dumb shits protesting the election for the 5,000th time or something like that, and if I were to shoot 2 of those fucking morons dead, do you think they'd be making cartoons about me? No. They wouldn't be doing that. They'd be posting memes with fucking ropes and shit, and nooses and guillotines, and they'd be saying kill all of them. The only reason they're making fun of it is because they think that these people were leftists. When they weren't leftists, they were populists, right? The people that he shot probably align more politically with the right wing in this country than anything else. I don't know why anybody thinks just because you're a protester means you're automatically a leftist, automatically a communist, whatever. That doesn't make any fucking sense, right? There were people protesting against government corruption. But it's okay to make fun of them because they think that they're on the other side of the political divide. Why is this tolerated? Why is this shit on Twitter? Right? You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna fucking report this. It's not gonna do shit. Because Twitter, like Elon Musk, they don't give a fuck. But I'm just gonna report it. Right? I'm gonna say hate. Or actually, I'm gonna say violent speech. There you go. Next. Violent threat. Glorification of violence. Yes. Submit. Okay. Are they going to do anything about it? No. Because Elon Musk likes it this way. This is the shit that Elon Musk wants on fucking Twitter. Because he's a goddamn fucking fascist. Another one here. Making more comparisons to action movies. This is some dumbass named Dumpster Bud or whatever. I don't know. Not funny. Remember, people are dead. And these fucking clowns are, putting this shit together. It's not just people in the United States, either. This is a guy from this guy here is Polish. I know it's Polish because I actually went and translated it on Google Translate. And all that stuff. This says the law should not give way to... Oh, I guess it automatically translated it. Okay, well, there you go. The law should not give way to lawlessness. Another AI-generated thing where, remember, the guy that did it, it's not what he looks like at all. It's like they did the same thing to Trump. They make Trump look all big and buff with a huge jaw and a chin that juts out and all that to make him look like a Giga Chad. I mean, that's what it says here, Giga Chad here. When in real life, the dude was old and pudgy and, probably fucking had bad knees and has never been in an actual war in his entire life. And it's so fucking ridiculous. Glorifying murderers here. Here's another one, which I think you guys will love. The conspiracy theories are already starting. This is from BX. Y'all are tired of this story because the meme had a short lifespan, but I wanted to share what I found out about Panama shooter Kenneth Darlington's law firm. Mossack in Darlington. The website is 404, but the Wayback Machine has an archive all sources LinkedIn thread. Darlington's law partner Jennifer Mossack worked for a disgraced firm Mossack Fonseca, founded by her father Jurgen Mossack. Mossack Fonseca was exposed in 2016 by the Panama Papers, which exposed corrupt offshore entities in Panama. Mossack Fonseca served super-rich clients all over the world. The Panama Papers connected them to money laundering, tax evasion, and busting sanctions for criminal organizations and exposed the firm's links to Russian intelligence, arms smuggling, drug trafficking, and operations connected to North Korea and Syria. They were also deeply involved with the administration of ex-president of Panama, Juan Carlos Varela, were accused by New York Times as doing business with clients from Iran who were known to the U.S. as linked to terrorist organizations. Jurgen Mossack, the father of Darlington's law partner, has been on trial since June of this year. Jurgen's father was a Nazi SS soldier who reportedly worked as a CIA asset in Panama post-WW2. Again, Darlington's partner Jennifer worked as a lawyer for the firm. The Panama Papers also linked her to Darlington Realty. And Mossack Forensic is linked to Darlington Estate Limited, which is linked to an offshore securities group called JTC Securities. The rabbit hole goes way deeper than I have time for. Blah, blah, blah. What does this really mean, folks? Nothing. It means absolutely fucking nothing. Nothing at all. Okay. Are they trying to say here that what are they trying to say? They're trying to say it's a psyop. Say, Panama psyop. It's a psyop. Because every time a right-wing crazy person goes out and shoots somebody, it's always the government's fault. Every single time. Every single time that you see a insane right-wing fucking Nazi asshole go and blow away 17 children at a high school, the right wing in this country, the MAGA people, they always try to say, oh, it's a psyop. Oh, it's really the CIA behind it. Oh, it's really, it's really this group, Darlington Estate Limited or whatever. It's really all that. No, it couldn't be that somebody with our political affiliation, our political persuasion just was an insane, hateful, bigoted, racist piece of shit who just didn't give a fuck about people and had no regard for human life. Couldn't be that. No. It had to be, a Manchurian candidate or some shit. Every goddamn time. Every time there's a shooter, this guy wasn't even a mass shooter. Does this 2 people count as mass shooting? I don't know. We're so jaded in this country. It's like, no, it has to be 4 people that have to die or whatever in order for it to be a mass shooting. Fucking ridiculous. We're so jaded over the shootings like this. God, ridiculous, folks. It's disgusting. It's disgusting to see how much people skirt responsibility. The right wing in this country is fucking delusional. These people are delusional. They never take responsibility for their own fucking actions. It's always somebody else. It's always a conspiracy. It's always the CIA or the FBI or whatever. They planted all those people, just like January 6th. January 6th was just it was all Antifa, unless it was really the CIA who did it, unless it was really the FBI who did it, whatever. It was anybody but the actual fucking people who were responsible. And we see this, it only took, this was Tuesday that this happened, right? Was it Tuesday? Yeah, Tuesday that this happened. We in the States didn't find out about it until Thursday. And now the conspiracies are already there. It blows me away how fast this shit moves. Absolutely fucking incredible. Oh my god, people are so fucking stupid. Here's one that I really like this one. Okay, you guys are gonna love this. Okay. I'm putting together a team. This is forwards from Clan Mob, my favorite Reddit, my favorite anti-racist subreddit. Everybody should join it. I'm putting together a team. Who do we have here? We've got Kyle Rittenhouse, this asshole, fucking Kenneth Darlington, and then these 2 pieces of shit, which I can't remember their names. It was, this was during a BLM protest in Florida. What was their names again? Let me look them up. Mark and Patricia McCloskey. That's what these 2 fucking morons are. Who basically, what it was is that the BLM protest was just walking by their house in 2021. And these people went out and threatened them all with fucking machine guns and shit. She's holding a pistol here. He's got a fucking AR-15 or whatnot. And they both got arrested and served time for this. And then this guy, the fucking dude here, McCloskey, he actually ran for the Senate or something like that and got fucking crushed. It was something, he ran for Congress and got annihilated. Good, fuck him. Okay. But look at this. See, they're like heroes. This guy, murderer, shot 2 people to death, killed them. Kyle Rittenhouse, shot 2 people, killed them. Oh, it was in self-defense. Yeah, right. A guy hit him with a bottle of water. He killed him. Okay. Another guy tried to stop him after Rittenhouse already killed somebody. He killed that guy too. Yeah, oh, he was defending himself. Yeah, okay. You get a death. That's the other thing here, folks, right? Okay, these protesters were blocking the street. Okay, that's wrong. Are you allowed to just shoot them then? Is the punishment for blocking the street a death sentence? Is that okay? It's just okay to so someone's just blocking the street. Does that mean, like, when does it stop? What if I throw a cigarette butt on the ground? Can you just shoot me in the head? Oh, littering. No, not allowed to do that. Oh, those cigarette butts, they go off, they get washed into the ocean, and little fish eat them and they die. So fuck you. Shooting you in the head. Is that okay? What if I throw some gum on the ground? Are you going to run me over with a truck? Is it okay to just murder me if I just break the smallest little fucking infraction? Of course not. Kyle Rittenhouse killed someone who was trying to stop him from killing people. He got off scot-free. If I threw a water bottle at someone, is it okay for them to just shoot me in the head and kill me? Is that right? Is that proportional response? What if a cop did that? What if I threw a bottle of water at a police officer and he pulled his gun and blew me away? Would that be okay? Or would that officer get in trouble? I mean, I would hope he would get in trouble. Probably wouldn't in this country. So if it's not okay for a cop to do it, why is it okay for a citizen to do it? Who was not a police officer. Remember, none of these people are police officers. Kyle Rittenhouse, not a police officer. Shouldn't have fucking been there. He was a minor. Shouldn't even have owned the goddamn gun. I can't believe they let his ass off for that. Like, if it was anybody else, they would have been in prison. But no, the fucking right-wing judge lets Kyle Rittenhouse off on a technicality. Kyle Rittenhouse, guy with a gun that he shouldn't have owned. He had to, like, get somebody who was an adult to buy it for him because he was a minor, so he wasn't allowed to fucking buy it. So that's fucking illegal. You're not allowed to, like, buy a gun for somebody and, like, give it to them. No, that's bullshit. That's what, that kind of gets rid of the entire point of having background checks. That's called a straw buyer. And I mean, maybe it's not illegal in fucking Illinois or whatever, but in a lot of places in this country, that's illegal. You're not allowed to fucking do that. Right? Even if you, like, inherit guns, you have to, like, go tell somebody. You can't just, like, oh, this is my gun now. Like, no, that's not how that shit works. There are laws like that for a reason. Drives to a place where he doesn't fucking live. To what? Defend the fucking, against the protesters who are burning shit down. Fuck you. And then he parlays that into a national fucking career. The guy's, Jesus Christ. I guess I'm not allowed to call him a murderer, so I'm not gonna call Kyle Rittenhouse a murderer. What I am gonna say that it's fucking bullshit, and he's a piece of shit because he's, like, parlaying that into a career. They made a fucking Kyle Rittenhouse video game, for fuck's sake. So don't tell me that he's not trying to, like, exploit the fact that he fucking killed 2 people. Am I allowed to say that? Am I allowed to say Kyle Rittenhouse killed 2 people? Because he did. Bullshit. This guy, Kenneth Darlington, they're going to do the exact same shit to him. They're going to turn him into a fucking hero. There's people walking around with Kyle Rittenhouse t-shirts and fuck. Is this going to be the exact same thing? Is this asshole going to be on a t-shirt too? And then these 2 fucking cretins. I mean, okay, I guess they didn't actually kill anybody. They just threatened to kill someone. This is what it is. It's like every time this shit happens on the right wing, they celebrate it. Because, you know why? Because they want to fucking kill people. That's why. Last one. This is from Amory King. 2 climate protesters that were shot by 77-year-old Kenneth Darlington in Panama have died. And he's taunting them. Oh, it's so sad. He's crying. He's taunting them. This giant piece of shit is taunting the victims of this fucking asshole. Like, what, these people have families, man. Okay, these are real people. I know this is hard for you assholes on the right wing to understand. Let's turn this shit off. But these are normal, ordinary, real people with families. I mean, I'm sure you wouldn't like it if somebody, I'm sure your parents, your mother, your father wouldn't like it if somebody blew you away. I'm sure your family would be very upset. Would you like it if I started posting, like, memes with tears and shit if you got blown away at a protest? Let's say that, I don't know, whatever you're fucking protesting. Let's say you were protesting the election. The 2020 election that's been proved 17,000 times to have not been stolen. Right? Let's say it's next year and Donald Trump loses the election again, and then you go out to protest it again. Would you like it if somebody like me just shot you in the head? Oh, you're protesting here without permission. I'm just going to kill you. Is that okay? Is it all right if I do it to you? Fuck no, it isn't. Of course it isn't. Hell no, it isn't. You'd be screaming for revolution. Yet it's okay to just kill these people because they're engaging in a protest, which is, you see as like left wing. It's such bullshit. It's fucking ridiculous, man. The right wing in this country has just lost their minds off the fucking rails, and we really need to stand up and fight against them. Every single one of them. Every single one of these assholes on Twitter. After this is over, I'm going to go and I'm going to report every single one of them. It's not going to do any fucking good, but I'm going to do it anyway. Then I'm going to go to Facebook and I'm going to look up a bunch of those things and I'm going to report a bunch of that shit. You know why? Because fuck these people. Okay? And just get it out there for everybody. How do you change shit like this? How do you change it? You know how you change it? You find when your friends and your family are spreading this kind of thing, and you fucking use shame and humiliation. Right? When you find your grandpa spreading this shit, you get your grandpa and you say, "Grandpa, what the fuck are you doing?" And then you explain to him, no, they weren't, no, this is what happened, this is what really happened, and if you're going to make fun of this shit, then I'm not going to talk to you anymore. That's how you fucking do it, right? We've just let this stuff become normalized. That's the problem here. We've let it become normalized to an extent where it's like there will be zero repercussions for any of those assholes that I just saw. Like, no one's going to do anything to those people. No one's going to shame them. Their friends or their family isn't going to say shit to them. They're not going to there was a point not that long ago where you could lose your job for saying shit like that. And you know what? You should. You should lose your job. If you're out there like celebrating a murderer, maybe your job should know about that, don't you think? But no, it's just completely normalized now. It's like nothing's going to happen. There's going to be no repercussions whatsoever. No one's going to do shit. And it's just going to get worse and worse and worse. Eventually, one day, there may be a situation in this country where this kind of thing happens again. Social unrest. I mean, we had social unrest a few years ago. It's safe to say it will happen again. And when you normalize hate and violence like this, it just makes people jaded, and they will be willing to engage in violence again. That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is when you see these assholes spreading this bullshit, white supremacist assholes, people like Charlie Kirk and all that other crap, spreading all of this shit around through memes, is they're trying to desensitize people so when the time comes, they'll fucking murder us. That's what it is. White supremacist bullshit, folks. Don't stand for it. Call it out. Call it out from your friends, your family, the people you work with. Call it out in all of them, right? Don't let this shit become normalized more than it already fucking is. Absolutely ridiculous. I hope that asshole gets the death penalty. Usually I think the death penalty is bullshit and it doesn't mean anything. I hope they fucking kill him. I hope he's 77 years old and whatever the death penalty is in Panama, I don't know. Electric chair. Maybe they fucking drown his ass in the fucking Panama Canal. Good. Fuck him, because he's a murderer. We need to start doing some shit about this kind of thing to stop allowing hate to be spread, to stop allowing hate being fucking normalized. That's what's fucking happening in the country, folks. It is bad to kill people. Can we just all agree on that? Can we all agree that it is bad to kill people? That it should not be allowed? You shouldn't be allowed to just normal, ordinary guys who aren't even police officers. It's one thing if it's a cop, whatever. You could say, okay, it's justified, blah, 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 whatever. These people weren't police officers. It's just some fucking random psycho went out and murdered somebody. Can we just please agree that that's wrong? Can we, put our differences aside in this fucked up ass country and agree that it is wrong to fucking kill people? Can we do that, please?
Hello folks, if you like what I do and you want to support the channel, please consider buying something from my Etsy shop, supporting me on Patreon, liking and subscribing, and checking me out across my social media links listed below. Thank you all so much, and see you next time.